Welcome to Escape the Debt Trap, where we'll show you how to crush $15,000 in high-interest credit card balances. First, we'll set the stage by explaining the Avalanche Method. Then we'll pressure test your expenses. And finally, we'll create immediate cash flow wins to build momentum. Let's begin. Before we get started, please note this is educational content and not financial advice. Your situation is unique, so consult a qualified financial professional before making major changes. Here's the agenda. We'll start with why cash flow feels fragile. Move into the Avalanche Method to minimize interest. Then tackle a reality check of expenses and consolidation options. Next, we'll unlock immediate cash flow wins, outline a 30-day action plan, test your knowledge with quick quizzes, and wrap up with next steps. When rent consumes half of your take-home pay and transportation costs drain another 16%, there's almost no buffer left. Combined with high interest rates, this creates a debt trap. However, by taking decisive steps, we can create a surplus and break the cycle. Now, let's transition to the method that saves the most interest. The Avalanche. The Avalanche Method prioritizes the card with the highest APR. First, list every debt with its balance and APR. Then, pay minimums on all cards to avoid penalties, and send every extra dollar to the card with the highest APR. When that card is paid off, immediately roll that freed-up payment into the next highest APR card. This snowballing of payments against the highest interest rates reduces total interest and accelerates your payoff. Next, we'll quantify the spending side with a visual of where your money is going. This pie visualization highlights how cash currently gets consumed and what a target allocation could look like after optimizing. Before, rent is around 50%, vehicles about 16%, groceries near 11%, and other categories like dining and subscriptions add up, leaving nothing for extra debt payments. After optimization, the goal is to compress rent and vehicle costs modestly, slash groceries and dining through planning, cut subscriptions, and reallocate 12 to 18% of income to extra debt payments, while retaining a small buffer for stability. Now that we see the target, let's translate it into numbers with a before and after budget table. This table assumes $4,000 in monthly take-home pay. Before changes, rent is about $2,000. The vehicle costs roughly $640, groceries $450, dining $250, subscriptions $120, and minimum debt payments about $450 with almost no buffer. After changes, rent is targeted to 40 to 45% using a roommate or negotiation. Vehicle costs drop through refinancing or downsizing and better insurance. Groceries fall by 30 to 50% through disciplined planning. Dining and subscriptions are trimmed. Minimums stay the same, and the freed cash flow of $500 to $700 is redirected as extra payments to the highest APR card, with a small buffer retained for stability. With numbers in place, let's walk through a practical 30-day action plan. Here's a practical 30-day action plan. First, list all accounts and freeze cards to prevent new charges. Next, call your issuers to request hardship options. Then, attempt a 0% balance transfer or pre-qualify with a credit union for a sub-18% consolidation loan. After that, construct a bare-bones budget and cut groceries by 30 to 50% using a meal plan. Continue by canceling subscriptions, negotiating insurance, and considering vehicle downsizing. Set autopay for all minimums and route every extra dollar to the highest APR card. Add flexible gig hours to boost income, and conduct a weekly check-in to ensure there are no new charges. Finally, redirect any unexpected savings into your Avalanche payment and prepare for the following month. Now let's clarify consolidation rules and pitfalls. When possible, start with a 0% APR balance transfer, but include transfer fees in your calculation. If that's not available, look to a reputable credit union or established online lender for a personal loan below 18% APR. The non-negotiable rule is that if you consolidate, you must stop using the credit cards entirely to avoid rebuilding the debt. Set autopay for the consolidation loan and all minimums to protect your credit. Be careful about teaser rates that expire, origination fees that raise your effective cost, and the risk of double dipping by borrowing while continuing to charge on old cards. With options clear, let's compare payoff strategies. Avalanche prioritizes the highest APR first, saving the most interest over time, especially when rates vary significantly. It can feel slower initially because balances may be larger. Snowball prioritizes the smallest balances, creating fast psychological wins. But it may cost more in interest if high APR debts linger. Choose Avalanche to minimize cost. Choose Snowball if motivation is your top challenge. Now, let's test your understanding with a quick quiz. Question: which repayment approach minimizes total interest when your card APRs vary widely? Options: 1. Pay the same extra amount to each card. 2. Snowball, smallest balance first. 3. Avalanche, highest APR first. 4. Randomly pick a card each month. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is Avalanche, targeting the highest APR first. This method minimizes interest costs over time, even if early progress feels slower. Focus on fast wins that create immediate surplus. Cut grocery spending by 30 to 50% using a strict weekly plan and a single shopping trip with a list. Avoid convenience purchases that inflate costs. Add flexible gig work for an extra $100 to $300 per week, and automate transfers so that every $100 to $200 goes directly to the highest APR card. Consider selling or downsizing an expensive vehicle to target 10 to 12% of take-home pay for transportation. Call providers to negotiate better rates on internet, phone, insurance, and subscriptions. Up next, we'll visualize a 6-month attack plan to sustain momentum. This Gantt chart maps the next 6 months. In setup during month 1, you inventory debts, freeze cards, call issuers, attempt balance transfers or consolidation, and enable autopay. In parallel, cash flow improvements include weekly meal planning, one-time subscription cuts, insurance shopping over the first 2 months, and ongoing side gig hours. The payoff lane shows continuous Avalanche payments, rolling freed payments into the next debt as each payoff occurs, with monthly check-ins around day 23 to adjust. Next, a quick quiz to reinforce a critical consolidation rule. Question: you consolidate credit card debt to a 16% APR personal loan, but keep using the cards. What is the most likely outcome? Options: 1. Nothing changes. 2. Your debt accelerates because you add new balances on top. 3. You will pay off faster automatically. 4. Your credit score instantly jumps 100 points. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is that your debt accelerates because you add new balances on top. Consolidation only works if you stop using the credit cards entirely. Key takeaways: use the Avalanche to attack the highest interest first. Create a $500 to $700 surplus through spending cuts and added income, and automate those funds toward debt. If you consolidate, lock your cards and set autopay, committing to no new charges. Slash groceries and non-essentials for quick momentum. Remember, short-term sacrifice leads to long-term stability and improved mental well-being. Now let's wrap up with a concise summary. To conclude, list all debts with APRs, enable autopay, and start the Avalanche today. Trim both fixed and variable costs to target 12 to 18% of take-home pay for extra debt payments. Use balance transfers or sub-18% consolidation only if you stop using the cards. Build weekly wins through meal planning, gig income, and cancellations, and review progress weekly while rolling freed payments forward. Finally, here's your call to action. If this video helped, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below with your biggest expected cash flow win or your first Avalanche target. Your story may help someone else start today.